What's up, everybody?
Hi, welcome back.
Episode 35.
35. Ooh, that's how old I'll be next year.
Well, it depends on when we put this out.
That's true. Happy birthday to me. 35.
I was watching, obviously, like streaming, and there's so many goddamn medication commercials. Like
For flexin.
so
Morphin.
irritating. Okay,
Capaldi.
I don't really know what the goal is, so I think that they're like trying to irritate you the most by getting you to like pay for the no commercial plan. So,
Oh, they're just all made up?
no, they're like, but they just hit you with the same one. Like when you used to watch TV, there'd be like, sure, there'd be like a couple that you would see, but it'd be like different commercials all day. Now you're getting like the same shit.
I don't know. It depends.
Over. And it's like, I think they do that. So you go, I'll pay the $10 extra. Because we had, for a brief time, no commercial Hulu, and it was amazing. Like, I don't know what it was like to be a king back in the day. We just looked down on these peasants.
With their ads.
Yeah, but I feel like it's pretty similar to when you have like no ad Hulu. Because now everything has ads. Disney has ads, even if it's like HBO Max has like.
Well, and when the Olympics was out, you could pay money to like have no ads, but then literally there was like, it said, you won't watch ads, but there are some ads you will still fucking watch. Was there like, you will still see some of the ads, but I mean, for me, when I was watching like, cause I did a Paramount Plus moment where I remember watching like SpongeBob and they're all toy commercials.
Yeah.
And I have to like, literally, it is so overstimulating for me because I'm like, oh shit, I could just look that toy up. I'll buy that right now.
Yeah.
And I have to like turn the volume down because it's so much stimulation. But I'm like, oh man, they're hitting these kids.
I wanted to be on a toy commercial so bad where you're just like, oh, the stupid little kids doing everything.
Yeah.
But like, I wish I could just tell it, I want these ads.
Yeah, give me all the Taco Bell
Like
ads.
Taco Bell,
McDonald's. Jack in the Box has been a new favorite.
Yeah, now I'm just like
a rekindled love.
McDonald's.
Well, that was like I was hanging out with someone, and they go, "Oh, hey, like that's so funny. After our first date, I was getting ads for Lululemon," and I was like, It's like, oh my god. And then I laugh because I've always said I feel like the weird ads that you get, or the ads where you're like not talking to anyone, and like you get the ad for it. I have a feeling it runs off people's Bluetooth. Like I have a feeling it goes from like each other's.
I think it's like Wi-Fi. I was at my friend's house in Medford and he kept getting these like HIV ones. And he's like, I don't know why I keep getting all these. And I was just like, yeah, I wonder why.
Sorry.
But the thing that I thought was so interesting is every like Glafalta or Zimplexi, they're all the same kind of ad, right? They're all like, it starts off and this person's like, ugh. It's all like slightly desaturated.
I was going to say they have the season 1 RuPaul Drag Race filter.
Yeah, and it's just like the music's sort of like, and then, but it's always showing people like not able to do things, It's like,
oh, like they can't pick up their hand, like their hands can't grab anything, and you feel so bad.
But it's always them like
struggling.
It's like a husband and a wife or a woman. And then they're doing something like a birthday party or baseball or hiking. Mm-hmm. But like next time you watch these ads, it's the same fucking formula every time. Yeah. And I just thought like, how did it eventually get down to that? Like what happened where all of those medication ads have to be that? Like who's going like, oh, wow, I also shit in a diaper and I better get Glafalta because then I won't shit in my fucking diaper all the time. You know what I mean? But like,
get for flexing.
Normal ads are like for Pizza Hut or a toy or something, like there's so many more options for ads. Like they're jokey ads. They're like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like a regular commercial, like for the Super Bowl, or they're these like crazy, funny, weird ads. Like, why don't we have any of those for medication?
Well, what I think is crazy is there's a video I saw recently where this dad was like, this was my moment where I realized the generational gap. And he's talking about how his daughters were watching TV, but they had to watch the ads. They wanted to watch this movie, but they had ads in it. And the little girls couldn't grasp what that meant. Couldn't grasp what that meant. And one of the girls goes, and it took me a minute to catch up to what they meant. The little girl goes, "Oh, like vacation TV." And in my head, I was like, wait, vacation TV, like the ads are a vacation from the show? And as I'm watching this video again, the dad goes, "No, vacation TV. You know, like when you go to the beach and you're at a hotel and you can't fast forward the ads because you don't have an app.
Right.
Vacation TV."
Wow.
And I was like, damn, these fucking kids don't know how good they got it, man.
Yeah.
Or like the idea, the generational gap that kids don't know what it's like to have to wait for something to come out. So this little kid wanted to watch like the Super Bowl a couple days before the Super Bowl. And the mom was like, "No, honey, like we have to wait for it to come out." And he's like, "No, can't we stream it?" And you're like, "Oh, you sweet
That's so
peach."
crazy.
It's weird, dude. Same thing with phones. Like we've talked about this before. Like old school phone is thumb and pinky, and you're like, "Yellow."
Yeah.
And now kids do it like bar soap, and they're
Or
like,
they go
"Hello."
like this.
No, it's this. It's flat. It's like
Yeah.
hello, and you're like, wrong.
That's crazy.
Jail.
But yeah, it's just I would love to see like a medication commercial where it's just like filmed like a Pizza Hut commercial. You know what I mean? Just like give me something else. It's just the same.
So you mean you want someone to like take their tray up to the pizza bar, but it's really all the different kind of medications you can get?
No, just like they're like a Geico commercial, like all these other styles
so a
of
piece
commercial.
of medication just walking down the cabinet.
It's
like,
always
"Hey,
the
guys."
same, like stock footage, old people or somebody like bulging eye thing, and it's just, and then all of a sudden, here's the medication, and oh, now I'm in a bathtub with my partner, separate bathtubs.
Look at how much better
I'm
your life would be.
walking. Oh, look, grandma. Like, I just hate that style of commercial so much. And that's the standard now. Like you're like, all right, we're going to make a new commercial for whatever the fuck drug this is. And then do they just come in and they just go like, okay, well, we could have old Jennifer doing bumper cars, carnival, shopping, soccer game.
Or Olive Garden.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, or Olive Garden. Like, I don't understand like what the appeal is for anybody to go, "Oh, wow, I love watching old Jennifer do these things."
Look,
because
she's got
I
her life
also
again.
do those things. And then I'll ask my doctor about cloflagla. It's just, I don't think we should have any of those commercials anyway.
Well, they've changed a lot of stuff. So, like, I don't think that you can smoke cigarettes on TV. I don't think you can physically drink, like, beer in an ad. So I wonder if prescriptions are kind of the same, where, like, they're only able to do certain things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're only able to show grandma at the birthday party. Like, they're only able to show Susan, who can't use her hands.
It's just so odd. Every commercial is the exact same. It's the exact style. And I just also feel like with ads, like we are as a culture picking what things like make it through, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these ads somehow worked enough that now that's a standard, right? I feel like we as a society have failed future generations by allowing ads on our streaming. We should have rioted in the streets.
Well, Netflix used to be, for those of you who don't know, Netflix used to be fucking physical DVDs that got mailed to you.
Yeah.
You got 2 or 3 a month. They fucking mailed you the disc. If you didn't mail the disc back, they charged you.
No, you just kept it.
Yeah.
And then, but now with streaming, it's like there was a period, it was just a couple of years ago where there was an ads on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
There was an ads on all these things. And now ads are on every single streaming service. There's an ad now.
YouTube too. Like I'll be listening to
Yeah.
I'll be doing like study music, listening to rain with the fireplace, and all of a sudden it's like, kerfluffler.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
Totally ruined my Zen moment.
Yeah. And it's like they pick these annoying ads. So you go, oh, I'll just pay.
Nah, I think you're wrong.
I think so.
Well-
because they either want you to buy the shit, they want you to buy the product, or they want you to offset that by paying a monthly fee. So then they're getting money. Because I think I've said this before, Tide is giving, I don't know, $50,000 to Spotify or whatever, Hulu,
Mm-hmm.
so they can do their ads. And then you go, oh shit, I got to go buy Tide because I saw that ad. And then you go buy Tide and then Tide goes, ha ha ha. Thank
Big
you for your service."
detergent.
Yeah, big detergent. So I think that's, but when you don't want ads, you're not giving anybody any money. But then Hulu still wants to make money. So you're just, I don't know. I feel like we all should have rioted in the streets when they wanted to put ads on everything because now it's standard. And now we're just back to like cable TV, how it was like 4 years ago.
But you're paying for the streaming service.
Yeah. It's just so dumb. And now it's like Disney Plus is all right. They'll have like a couple good things come out. But like, I can only watch like Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast so many times. Like, what new shit is on Disney Plus that I'm like, oh my God, I have to keep this. But now it's Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN. So I'm like, well, I guess. Oh, now Paramount, some shit's over there. So now I got to buy Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
I guess that's a good point.
It.
They should just have one streaming service for everything.
Yeah. And maybe call it like Comcast.
Oh, what? My God.
But that's what that used to be. Like you'd bundle all this shit together and then you'd buy, so now I think Netflix fucked everybody because they kind of inflated this idea that like it was sustainable, but it wasn't. So yeah, now we're all fucked. So.
Well, I was hanging out recently and we were watching Seinfeld and I was dying, bitch. Yeah. Well, you talk about shows that don't age well, like Seinfeld and Friends and probably a couple other shows were so detrimental to the evolution of like people.
Yeah.
So you watch Seinfeld and Friends, and the one thing I've always said is the one thing that would have alleviated every single problem in every single show was a cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
Like Seinfeld has this iconic episode. The whole episode is filmed inside this Chinese food restaurant.
Yep.
That episode wouldn't exist if someone had a phone. They were like, hey, we're not going to be there. We'll be there at this time, right? Yep. Oh, hey, what movie theater are you in? Are you in this? Oh, there's 2 showings? Crazy.
Yeah. No,
Friends,
just literally texting. Yeah.
Same thing.
Because that was the one where they're like trying to all figure out which movie to go see.
And there's 2 different showings. So they're like half and half. But the episode that we were watching was the one of the TV guide. So George lives with his parents at the time. Elaine comes over to visit him because his parents were out of town. She borrows the dad's TV guide to read on the subway. Yep. Elaine ends up leaving it. This guy gets it. It's a whole thing. But then Mr. Costanza is fucking fuming because he collects them. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, basically like transported back to being younger when we actually had TV guides. Yeah. You guys, there was a fucking book. There was a National Geographic book that showed every show, every fucking station, times for like a week.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was for the week.
We used to have one at home and my mom would like leave it out and she'd have like a pen in it. And I remember sometimes I'd take the pen out and she'd be like, where's my pen? Because they'd go through and she'd like circle stuff she'd want to watch, or like she would circle stuff that she wanted our dad to record, which he probably didn't because he sucked. But like, that was a thing.
It was so weird because you just didn't have the technology. And so like, and then you also didn't have a chance to rewatch shit. Mm-hmm. So I remember we'd record Simpsons and like even like Batman, the animated series, because you didn't have a chance to watch it again.
The high key stations were like MTV. They would play it twice. Like back in the day, they would play something twice. You'd be on Dish, you'd see like the digital TV guide, and it would show the perfect example. It would show Jersey Shore, and then it would be an encore of that same Jersey Shore episode. So it started like 6 and either 6:30 or 7. Like right after that episode done, it played the next one. And I remember watching Snooki get punched in the face real fucking time.
Wow.
MTV showed Snooki getting rocked by this white boy in this. You physically watch the dude punch her in the face and she goes out. And then it all happens. She's in the bathroom. That's how Snooki became super close with all of them because then all the guys freaked out. Poor guy. Asshole for punching her in the face. He was like a PE teacher. He got fired. There was all this crazy shit that happened. So when that next episode played, I'm sitting there like, yo, this is crazy, dude. In the next episode they played, that scene was blacked out. So it was right before, and then you don't hear any. It's like beep.
Oh, wow.
And then you see her in the bathroom, whatever. So what happened was she got punched, and then everyone was like, you fucking showed that on TV?
Yeah.
You need to cut that. And so that's also why they talk about, like, on live TV, you can't swear. Because there's like a 1 or 2 episode delay where they'll fine you, but then
delay,
they'll block you. They'll like black it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every like even like radio and live TV, they have a little bit of a delay so they can beep.
But that's the other thing I was thinking about is I really want to watch Jersey Shore again. Like just go back and kind of relive all of that.
I never got into that one.
Well, that was like my Gilmore Girls. Like I never had a show that I really like watched, but for whatever reason, that was like the real world, but different.
Yeah.
And I just loved it because it just was like so fucking weird, but they were all like wholeheartedly themselves, which I really liked. Like I didn't feel like it was a show. Like here's the thing. When you watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette, fucking, I don't care any of them. I don't take any of it seriously because they're all paid actors. Like in my mind, they're all on there because they want to get their face on TV. They want to be out there. They're all actors.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, they're all people who want to be famous and they have agents that are like, hey, Bachelor's looking for people. You want to be in it. But Jersey Shore, I felt like everyone was authentic. Like it just felt really nice. You had DJ Pauly D. You had Snooki and JWoww. And like the best part, man, there's 2 parts that summarize like the existence of me as a kid. And it's when JWoww comes in and she's like, Snooki, you got to get up. It's Memorial Day. All the juice heads are outside. And she's like, what? And there's people who make fun of it on Instagram where you basically see Snooki like this and she rises up and she's like, what? And the other episode, man, is when JWoww and Snooki write the letter to Sammy. Oh, hold on.
That sounds crazy.
Hold on, guys. You got to go back and watch Jersey Shore. Hold on.
Yeah.
This letter is fucking crazy. Yeah, it's right here. JWoww letter to Sammy, baby. Oh my God, this is the fucking letter. Sam, the first night at bed when you left, bed was the bar. The first night at bed when you left, Ron made out with 2 girls and put his head between a cocktail waitress's breasts. Also was grinding with multiple fat women. When you left crying at Clutch, Ron was holding hands and dancing with a female and took down her number. Multiple people in the house know, therefore you should know the truth.
Wow.
So JWoww and Snooki
that
were
sounds
roommates.
like ancient scripture.
They wrote it on the computer. They typed it out on the computer and printed it out because they didn't want her to know who their handwriting was. So like, dear Sammy, and they do Sammy with an I and then a heart. Like, you're like, Snooki. God. So they give Sammy this letter and she's like dating one of the guys in the house at this point, and it's like so messy. And I'm just a kid. I'm like, this is fucking great.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I feel like we had like Real World, you know.
Real World and Road Rules. We've talked about this before. Still looking to be in the challenge.
Right. Oh, yeah. She needs to be on the challenge. She'll freak out.
No. Yes. Again, you need to do a fresh meat season. And you need to pick people like me and match them up with the person that they enjoy the most, right? So you could put me with Johnny Bananas. You could put me with like any of them. Yeah. Like you could put me with any of them. And then you'd basically have a show where you could take old talent and you match them up with super fucking fans like myself. And then you just pair up these people and you would have the craziest show.
True.
Because you could tailor make the show.
Yeah.
So you could put me and Johnny Bananas together, or literally me and anyone.
Yeah.
And you'd be making these teams of people.
It'd be called like idols.
Yeah, it'd be like fresh meat, fucking whatever. Who cares?
Icons.
Yeah. Yeah, fresh meat icon, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm just trying to figure out ways to get on the show. I had someone tell me recently that they thought I should be in the show.
I think she would do really well. I would love it, but my body wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
I'd stick my ass in a box or something. I'd freak out.
That's true.
Also, my arthritis, like I could run the train and my shit hurts. But like my mental stamina is like untouched.
So I could go on the show if Ryan had an earpiece in me and Ryan was just telling me like how to play the game.
Right. Yeah. Just have you just swallowing a communicator device every day. Talking to you. Cause I love that shit. I love those games, but I don't have the body for it.
Well,
like if I could like physically do it, but it'd be like in Survivor where they make people like stand, you know, on like a
you gotta
crucifix,
stand on the pole.
You know,
yeah, but you love
there.
bitch.
But my arthritis compounds. So when it's inflamed and mad, it gets worse and worse and worse, and it doesn't have like a cool down time. And so like if something gets messed up, I don't go to bed and wake up and then it's fine. It just gets worse and worse. And like, yeah, unless they had like a disabled people challenge. Well, that's called Big Brother, but whatever.
You're horrible.
Yeah, well, they still make them do shit in Big Brother too.
I've
And
said
I don't
it
know.
before.
I don't like Big Brother. I don't want to
sleep.
Up
I don't want to sleep around people. Like that's the only thing. That's what would make me
I got
crazy.
a CPAP and people talking. I don't like listening to people eat. I don't want to be stuck in a room. I already hate being around people anyway.
I think I would do really good with like a show where there's isolation. So like RuPaul's Drag Race, they go do the show and then they got to go back and stay in their own hotel room. I'd be like, yes.
I wonder what people do. Like, I would just be like in the room and I would just probably be like, all right, what am I going to say to these bitches tomorrow?
Well, you like if you were smart, you would be in there. You would be coming up with roasts because you know there'd be a roast where you'd have to fucking flame everybody. You would have to be like, honestly, I'd be in there working on my fucking calisthenics, knowing that you got to have to do a dance challenge or like something stupid.
True.
Or you just bring a bunch of books and you just fucking read a bunch of books while you're in there.
I don't know if you can bring books.
Bitch, you can't watch TV? Why wouldn't you be able to bring a book?
They would give you TV. You get to watch TV.
Oh, really? You know this firsthand experience?
Why wouldn't you? In Drag Race, you're not a jury.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? You're not like
a sequestered jury.
You just can't like talk to anybody.
Oh my gosh, I found recently from one of my friends. He went to jury duty, like jury selection, and I go, "Did they pick you?" Because he's a big scary dude. And I was like, "Did they pick you?" And he goes, "Well, get this." He goes, "We're in there. It's a double homicide. It's all this shit, whatever." He goes, and right in the middle, this guy comes out and he goes, "Hey, he just did a plea deal, so you guys are all excused. Have a nice day."
Dang.
Crazy,
that's
right?
Crazy. Well, they're basically like, from my experiencing and watching shows on TV,
like Criminal Minds.
They basically will go, if we take it to court, where you have either you're going to get off potentially, or you're going to get this maximum amount and anything in between. Or if you just like save us all this time and money and headache, we'll just give you this.
Right.
So you pick, but we'll give you 5 years or 10 years or whatever. And you're guilty as fuck, you know.
Or they use plea deals for like really bad cases where, like for instance, you know, being the true crime aficionado that I am. Well, like when people die, you know, people are murdered, they'll give people plea bargains to tell them where the body is.
True.
You know what I mean? They're like, you either are going to get the death penalty or you tell us where you buried this person and we'll not kill you.
Yeah.
Which is fucked up, but.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's got to be so crazy. But you're also like, I don't want to like go through this court shit. So I don't know. That stuff's like so wild.
We had a lot of people that enjoyed the episode of me going to jail.
Oh, yeah.
Not an ideal experience, but really nice to hear from my friends that people also went to jail that didn't talk about it.
Yeah, I don't think people going to jail is like, people want to talk about that shit.
I didn't, but I'm here for the podcast. But oh my God, it happened. And like, okay, this would be one of those moments where it happened. And I was like, oh my God, like this is going to be fucking crazy to tell on the podcast. It was like the day, I want to say it was the week after, like the week that came right after when we filmed the podcast about me going to jail. Having, you know, dating apps, being on the apps, as the kids like to say. Yeah. I'm on the apps. It was super late at night. I had a little appetizer on my couch. I got up to go to bed, plugged my phone in. I don't have any notifications for dating apps turned on, but for whatever reason, I opened Hinge. And I got this really, like, I saw someone commented on my stuff, whatever, so I go into it, and it says, hey, nice bra, like something. So I'm like half asleep, and I'm reading about someone talking to me about my bra. And like going on a date with me. And I was like, what the fuck? Huh. It was the fucking guy from jail, you guys. It was the guy I went to fucking jail with 10 years ago, found me on Hinge, wrote me and said, hey, I still owe you a bra. I would love to take you out on a date. And at that point I was like, oh my God, like slow clap.
That's crazy.
And I went from being really, really grossed out, thinking someone is just talking about my bra, And it turns out to be this kid I went to fucking jail with.
That we just talked about.
That we had just talked about that week. And we had gone back and forth whether or not we wanted to talk about me being in jail for work or whatever. Like we just, again, people don't like talking about going to jail. Again, I'll tell you all of this shit to your face.
I shit in a trash can.
R2D poo for reference if you're listening. We had been talking for like a week.
Yeah.
Probably talked for a week, getting ready to go out, talking, and he's like verbatim going like, I just miss you. You make me feel like whole again. Like you remind me of like a different time in my life. And he's like, he goes, all of my friends are teasing me because I'm literally like laying in the kitchen right now, texting you like with my feet kicked up. And I'm just like, oh my God, so cute.
That's cute.
And so it was really nice and really comforting. And just to like have someone who I went through such a traumatic event with, having them be like, while I know, he goes verbatim, like, you will always get benefit of the doubt from me because of what we did earlier. Because I didn't snitch. I didn't do anything. Like, I just was like there just wanting to go home from jail. And it was just so peculiar because literally we're talking. He's like, okay, great. We're going to hang out tomorrow. It's your day off. Nothing. Day comes. Nothing. Like fucking nothing. He texts me in the morning. Like, here's the thing. If you show a girl the same effort every day, you kind of need to keep up with that.
Yeah.
By way of, if you're going to text someone every morning, be like, hey, good morning.
Right.
Like, it either needs to be something where you still show acknowledgement or whatever. Like, if you go from texting someone good morning every single day, first thought, oh, you're the first thought on my mind. And then I wake up the day we're supposed to hang out and I don't hear anything. And I reach out and I'm like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, okay, I don't play games. Let me just reach out. Hey, how are you? Nothing. We were supposed to hang out like 4.
That's crazy.
Like 4 or 5. Yeah. We were supposed to hang out at like 4 or 5. And he texts me back, I want to say at like 1:30 and tells me about how busy his day has been.
Of course it is.
Hadn't heard nothing.
Sorry,
Hadn't heard nothing about
day's
nothing.
So busy.
Right? And then he goes, oh. And so it's 1:30 and he finally writes me back. And I'm just like, that's weird, whatever. And then nothing. At that point, when I wake up, I can sniff bullshit.
Yeah.
You know? And so at that point, I kind of like, I have a lot of relationship trauma, hence pdExes, the podcast. And so I just was like, okay, I kind of managing my expectations, been in therapy. I'm like, okay, so like, I'm already starting to get a little whiff of this feeling weird. And like the best part about all of it was he didn't write me back, but the gift that we like to refer to all the time is I'll fucking show you guys. Again, you know me with the receipts. And I literally sent him the gif of Tyra Banks where she says, we were all rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
I love that.
That was it. That was the last thing I fucking sent to him. I'm just like, you loser. Like, 1, you went to jail. 2, if you're dating this kid, come find me. I'll give you these fucking receipts, girl. I'll give you these receipts.
It's just so weird.
To me, it made me feel like he was already dating someone. He was already dating someone. And then when it came time to meet up with me, he was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So to have this experience where I go to jail with someone, we see each other, whatever. Then we rekindle this connection.
Right.
There was no reason to even fucking talk to me. There was no reason to even reach out to me.
Right.
No reason. And so now, if you have felt a little something, please reach out to me. I'll show you all those messages. So silly. Still at his phone number.
Right.
Like he texts me. He's like, can I get your number? And I literally wrote him back. I was like, you don't have my fucking number anymore?
Yeah.
And then he goes to text me and he had me as my full name and not Lex. But
yeah,
that was crazy.
It's just dumb. It's like, why would you go all the way to like the date making time and then the day of, oh, you're so busy. Like also guys would like just walk over broken glass to go on dates with people and like potentially have sex and like make out with a chick.
But I think that's what it is. I think it's the fact that people think that they can just say whatever they want to get whatever they think they're going to get. Like sleep with me. Like I'm going to tear you to fucking shreds.
Yeah.
That's like getting catfish, right? Saw this guy, really handsome, was a doctor. I was like, oh, cute. You look cute. This kid immediately was like, hey, you want to be FWB? If you don't know what that means, that's friends with benefits. And I'm looking for like a boyfriend, a partner, someone that I can have consistent, really, really, really good sex with, really fun dates. I don't want to be friends with benefits. Ew, that's
FWB,
yucky.
that sounds like a R&B band from the 80s, 90s.
So It was really weird because this guy was like, hey, like, let's meet up. Like, you want to come over? Just
So
come
this is a
over.
new guy.
Yeah, different guy. And I finally am like, fine, let's meet. Let's meet for coffee. He's like, okay. He's like, well, I was like, do you want to go here? And he goes, oh, well, let's meet here. And I'm like, okay. So I show up and he's like, hey, are we still on? And I was like, yeah, I just parked. And he goes, okay, give me 10 minutes. I'll be right down. So we're in Waterfront in Portland. If you're in Portland, you know the area. It's really fucking expensive.
Right.
Like really expensive. If you live in the Waterfront, you're paying at minimum $3,000.
You're talking about by the
old spaghetti factory.
Yeah.
And I end up, I'm like, okay, cute. Like, I'm going to meet this guy, see how it is. Handsome doctor.
Yeah, he was one of those things.
Bitch. The universe, right? You hear about this happening and you never fucking think that's going to be you. So I'm standing there and I'm waiting outside because I'm adorable. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait outside for him. Like, let's go in. It was cold. I was kind of trying to stay warm. And then all of a sudden I see this guy like walk fast, jog next to me to go in. And I was like, oh my God, that's him. And that's not him.
Right.
Like, that's him and that's not him. And so it all happened so fast. He like walks by and it's not a tall, handsome doctor. Like nothing like the pictures. Nothing. Except for maybe the hair and kind of nothing. Nothing looked the same.
Right.
It was the same person. Those photos were probably from, as my best friend said, pre-med school.
Yeah.
So those photos were from when you were probably young 20s.
Right.
You're like 28 now. Again, it doesn't matter what you do for work, how
Right.
old you are, how tall you are. Just don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah, just.
So when he ran past me, I go, and he goes, text me, and he goes, I'm here. I go, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Like, no. I was literally like, no. And I was gonna leave. I was just gonna go, you know what? Count this as a loss. Let's go back to the car. And I go, you know what? I'm not that person. Like, let me go in and meet him. Oh my God. It was horrible. It was the worst. It was the worst 15-minute date I've ever fucking had.
Dang.
So we go in. I see him. Here's the fucking, don't lie. I look exactly like how I'm supposed to look. My photos aren't doctored. Yeah. Like, I'm this cute and lovely in person. Right. I smell great. Like, I look this fucking same, right? And so I think what happens is people think I edit my I don't know. No idea.
Yeah.
Saw him, couldn't even speak. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. He gives me like the starchiest fucking hug. Like I imagined he gave me a hug like what Gumby would feel like, or like hugging an action figure.
Yeah.
It was very like
starched.
Yeah. And so then we're there and we're at this coffee shop that's literally downstairs from his fucking apartment.
Oh, bitch, why are you late?
Oh, because he had to shower. So he had to shower because he still had fucking condensation on his lip. Like, his face was sweaty. Dang. So to me, that goes, hey, hot shower. I'm going to change really quick. Meet you downstairs. So we're standing there. And you know what? At this point, I'm like, you know what? He's going to buy me a coffee. Like, whatever. Not a big deal. Right. I'm not there for the coffee. I can afford a $5 shitty cold brew myself. And so we're standing in line. And I'm like, okay, cute. Like, what do you like to drink? And I'm probably just going to get a latte. And I go, okay, cute. Have you ever been here before? Yeah, on occasion. And I'm like, oh, so this is how you want to be? Okay. So I get a cold brew. He gets like some fucking latte. And he's like, do you want to sit outside? And in my head, I was like, no, bitch, I was standing outside waiting for you. Right. Like, no, it's cold.
It's like cold out. I don't know, like.
So we go sit across the way at a coffee bar. We go sit at the little bar by the window. They make our coffee. He doesn't even go to get up to get the beverages. Makes no effort. They're like, latte and a cold brew? And so I get up to go get it, and I get it and bring it back.
He didn't even offer to go get it?
No,
what the fuck?
Bitch. So literally, like...
I mean, like, equal, like, representation or whatever, but, like, that's wild.
That's like in Legally Blonde when he asks her to get him his coffee. That's like when he's like, hey, can you get me my coffee, please? Yeah. And they never ask Warner. They always ask the girls.
Right.
So then we're sitting there, and at that point, it's like my job. I'm like talking to him about what I do and this and that. And at this point, I'm like, I can talk about myself. Like, you don't need to talk. I'll talk about myself. So told him where my job was. We're like kikiing. It's not a big deal, right? I'm asking him like, well, how do you like your job? What do you do? And he's like, oh, I work in oncology. I'm a surgeon for oncology. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? What is that? And he's like, oh yeah, I do surgery for cancer. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, why do you like it? He goes, not really. And I'm like,
okay.
Great. And he goes, well, I work at OHSU. And like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, like, do you take the tram? I work too early to take the tram. I have to Uber, but my work pays for it. And I'm like,
oh, sweet.
Okay. Well, I work like, 2 weeks ago, I worked like 80 hours. So, I'm pretty miserable. And I'm like, I'm not sucking your dick even as a fucking friend. Like, your toxic cum is going to be like acid in my throat. Like, no fucking way, my boy. No fucking way. It is red flag after red flag after red flag. You don't look like your photos in the fucking slightest.
Right.
He was double in size from the photos.
Yeah,
double in size. And I'm not preferential.
Right.
If he looked how he was supposed to look on Hinge, never would have matched him in the first place.
Right.
Let's be honest. But I have no qualms. Like, I don't want to be like, well, you have to be 6'2".
Right.
I'm only believing what you tell me.
It also just sucks when you meet somebody and they just don't look like, you know what I mean?
Well,
It'd be
the
like
balloon is popped.
you bought Fruit Loops and then you open it up and it's fucking Cap'n Crunch.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like,
you cut in your mouth.
or it's fucking Fruity Pebbles. It's like, no, I wanted the loop. I wanted a loop and you gave me Pebbles. Like,
right.
You have to show people like what you look like because that's the day and age we live in. Like, that's the marketing. This is what I look like. People pick stupid photos, but like you have like, it's not just one photo. There's like 10 photos.
Photos of him like handsome in a pea coat in New York, like just handsome with sunglasses. Another one of him drinking a beer in a high rise, like cute photos. You know what I mean? Him with a celebrity, I'm guessing at like some kind of doctor thing.
Right.
Cute. I was like, oh my God, so cute. So I'm literally watching the minutes tick by, bitch. It was probably like 8 minutes by the time I was cooked. I was like, fuck this kid.
15-minute date.
Oh my God, Ryan. So we're sitting
You're
there.
like, oh, I forgot I started boiling some pasta at home.
I left my oven on at home. I have to go.
The pasta's almost done. I gotta get
Oh my
home.
God. So I'm like, oh, well, where'd you come from? Whatever. And he's like, I've lived all around. And
God,
I'm like,
I don't even like this guy. Good Lord.
It was crazy. And so then he goes, well, what'd you want to do? And I go,
this.
And I go, oh, well, I wanted to meet for coffee. I said I wanted to get some coffee and meet. And he goes, oh, okay. All right, well, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Fred Meyer's. I need to get like some meal prep or stuff. But like, if you want to come, you should come back later and hang out with me. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I have a concert to go to tonight, but like, I'll let you know. I did have a concert to go to. And I was like, I'll let you know. Like, oh my gosh, yeah. I remember hugging him and leaving and texting my best friend and being like, all right, date's done. And she goes, what the fuck? And I go, yeah, he looked nothing like his pictures. Nothing. So then he texts me that night. He's like, hey, what? An hour later, mind you, texts me and goes, hey, what time are you coming over?
Bitch.
I swear to God, I have the fucking text.
Oh, God, it's so lame.
And then I go, oh, hey, I'm trying to figure out like what my plans are I was never going to fucking go. Let's be honest. You lied to me about your photos. I was never going to come meet you. Never.
He like,
bitch, it was so bad. It was so bad.
I love that
that's not even it.
I love that in his mind, he was like, hey, we're still on, right? And you're like, yeah. Then he just hops in the shower real quick.
Does a body rinse.
Quick little, like, get all the areas.
Hopefully.
Runs down the stairs or takes the elevator and then comes in, does this 10-minute interview.
Not even, no.
For you to potentially come back later to give him a fucking blowjob or
if
whatever.
that was an interview, he wouldn't have gotten a second interview. Yeah. Like if I was hiring you for a job.
And he thought he did so good.
I'm like, oh,
he thought he did like hit it out of the park. He's like, oh yeah, man, fucking bitch could come over later. Yeah, she likes me. Like, you're so fucking delusional.
Oh my God, it gets better. And that's not all. So, like, I would say not like within a week, maybe a week and a day from that date. This was a while ago. A week and a day, this motherfucker walks into my job. This round face motherfucking catfish walks into my job. And I clock his little butterface immediately, bitch. He's like, the moon emoji with the eyes. That's him. It was so bad. And he was in the ugliest fucking clothes. I'm sorry. He was a catfish, so I feel no shame saying any of this. So I'm at work, and I tap my fucking friend, this dude, and I go, oh my God.
That's
oh my God.
So funny.
I go, I went on a date with that guy. And the kid goes, what the fuck? I go, pause, pause, pause. I got catfish. He looks nothing like his photos. I'll show you his photos. I'm cute. My hair was washed. I'm in some fucking cute pants. I'm at my job doing the things.
Yeah.
And so someone goes, well, did he see you? And I go, no. And they're like, oh, well, you should go say hi. And I was like, well, I turn around and this boy has a fucking girl with him. A blonde girl. I want to say he was probably a little taller than him. So, I mean, good for him, I guess.
Right.
They're like nose to nose, like with their noses almost like brushing. Like they're breathing each other's air.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, this fucking loser thinks he can come into my job, bring another girl. There are more than one of my jobs. My job is not the only location. You live downtown. There are closer locations to you that you should have gone into.
Right, right.
So the fact that I've never seen you before at my job, a week after we go on a date, I would say a week after we like met,
Yeah.
you come in and you bring a fucking girl into my job. Oh my God. So the good employee in me goes, well, what I want to do is call him so he can fucking answer his fucking phone. And I'm like, hello, the call's coming from inside the house.
Hey, how's it going?
Another of my friends told me that I should have gone up and be like, oh my God, hey, I'm so sorry I wasn't able to come over on Friday. I had my concert. So what I did was I just walked over and I just tapped my friend who was helping them. And I was like, hey, is everything going good? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. So then I just walk around and I'm just like, bitch.
That's amazing.
Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I love it. Well, it's weird and it makes me really uncomfortable, but also like, you're not getting me at my job, bitch.
Right, right.
You're not. Sorry, you're not. And I'm not even going to validate you that we even know each other because you're fucking disgusting. Oh, just so gross. It's just, all of it's just so uncomfortable.
The catfishing thing is weird. We've talked about this a lot, but like, have accurate photos. I've had that happen to me before where I like go to hook up with somebody and then they don't look anything like their photos. And then they're just preying on the idea that like you're committed and you're going to be too embarrassed to leave or to call it off. So you're just going to go with it. And that's a pretty shitty thing to do to somebody. They're like, well, I'll get them to my house.
Right.
And then I'm hoping
that's
that
some serial killer shit.
Yeah. I'm hoping they're going to be so embarrassed.
They'll
just hang out with, they're good. They're just going to hang out with me and I'll be like, ooh, got him. And it's like, that's not great. That's not a great way to start a friendship or a dick suck or fucking.
Or FWB.
Just anything. It's just kind of rude. And then you're just like, it feels very dishonest. And so it's like, how do you build a relationship off of that? It's just like when dudes do like their wiener pictures and they'll do it like from down here. So the wiener looks really big. And then so people are like, how big's your wiener? Oh, it's 7 inches. It's real thick. And then you show up and like, it's like not great. And you're like, well, why are you lying? Like, I get that, like, you've probably been shit on a lot and it probably sucks, but like, you're also not like, you're not giving me all the toothpaste that I ordered on the tube. You know what I mean? I paid for this box of toothpaste and fucking... Like,
you got the travel size.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I paid for Costco size. I got the travel size.
It's just, I don't know.
Bitch, that's not even the fucking worst. Like, I want to say a week after that, bitch, I text the bestie and I was like, oh my God, why is the catfish doctor back again? In all capitals. And I text her that and then she goes, oh my God, I'm telling so-and-so. And they go, oh my God, you've been catfished. And so we're just dying. It's hilarious that this kid thinks that he can just come in. And he's coming in and intentionally not looking at me. You know what I mean? Comes in, goes to walk up to someone, goes to do the thing. And I'm just laughing because I think I met his dad. This guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, I want to return this. And I was like, okay. And I was like, wait, right here. And then I turn on, guy's gone. And then I see fucking catfish, Moonface. He's got the bag walking around trying to get someone to return it. Well, he ain't talking to me. He will talk to everyone else. It fills my cup, man. That shit like that puts the wind in my sails.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
It's so funny.
Bitch, it was fucking hilarious. Yeah. It was just such a moment for me. And it was so funny because the best part was the night after the concert, when I hadn't seen him, all he texted me was, "You never came." And so I laughed with my fucking friend because he vets all of my dates. And I laughed with him and I go, man, wouldn't it matter if I showed up or not? Wouldn't have came either way. And we like fucking were dying, bitch. It was so funny. Here's the thing. If you're a blonde girl and you're dating this fucking douchebag who lives in the fucking waterfront.
Yeah.
And he hates his job and he works all this. Girl, call me. Hit up the podcast. Oh, because in that moment I go, oh my God, if he has a girlfriend, that's why he wants to be friends with benefits. Is she out of town? Is that's why he want me to come fucking suck his dick right after the date? Oh, she's not there a certain weekend. Hey, come see me tonight. Please come see me tonight.
Interesting.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here. That ain't your sister. I could never smell your breath. But they were like this. Their faces were close. It was intimate.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was weird, but like, again, it's me. Real funny, but like, God bless America. That was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, be honest or don't. And I don't know, then just be lonely.
Well, that was like when I found my ex on Hinge. Well, I found him after we were dating, but the first time I found him, it was cute. He had really cute pictures. It was cute. We like had a cute little moment. We like talked, but it's like, all of the apps are shitty. There's not a good one.
Yeah.
I want to say it's Leslie Jordan who makes a joke about how they should just make one dating app and call it What's Left.
That's amazing.
Oh, it was great. It was so funny. But like, it's just the thing I hadn't thought about from a safety perspective was, I had 7,000 matches on Bumble. It's very overwhelming. And I was going to pay to look at all of them, right? To do the vetting. There was one day I was getting something to drink at a gas station. And these two guys behind the register were like looking at me like they knew me.
Right.
But it was really weird because I'd never seen them before ever. So I was telling my best friend about that in the car. And she goes, well, do you think it's because people like have seen you on the dating apps and they've swiped on you? And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah. So basically I'd never thought about this ever. I'm basically putting myself on a platform that's telling everyone I'm single. That is now being sent to every single person who has this app that's getting to swipe on me.
That's true.
So does that mean there are, 6,000 people who know who I am, that know what my tattoos look like, know whatever. I'd never thought about it from that perspective.
Right. Well, they also just saw you for like a second amongst
Yeah, but it doesn't
a lot
matter.
of people. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so.
Like if you were creepy and you found someone and you became obsessed with them, you could figure out the shits.
Yeah, true.
You could figure it out. And so more from a safety reason, I was like, damn, I never had fucking thought about that before. Because I had a shitty ex. He would come leave shit on my car at my job. He'd come fucking like, it was crazy. It was crazy. But when I matched with him, it was fun. It was cute. Definitely got love bombed. You shouldn't be with anyone in a relationship where you're like, oh my God, we're so in love. And it's like been a week. Like I'm sure that shit happens, but it wasn't until like I was dating someone somewhat recently when my best friend reminded me, she's like, hey, like, presumably he's taking care of you. She's like, but he could still be love bombing you. And it was like, the fucking veil was pulled. And I was like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right.
Again, that's what people do. They have their little like, oh, I'm going to do this and do these things. And you're just like, oh my God. So lovely. And then you just forget how shitty they are.
So Ryan and I were talking the other day. He's been doing a lot of musical projects on his own.
Yeah.
And I kind of reminded him, he's like, man, like this might be my moment. And I was like, well, you've been doing this for a really long time.
Yeah.
I was like, you've been doing this longer than that. I was like, you've been doing this since like 99, like 2000 when you met Slipknot.
Right.
What year are we in now? That's fucking crazy to think about. And so I brought it up to Ryan. I was like, dude, you're like Chappell Roan.
Yeah.
Like Chappell Roan, everyone's like, overnight success. And she's like, no, I did this for fucking 10 years.
Yeah.
She was signed. There's old videos of her like performing originally. And she's in a little teeny bar and everything's different. Same thing with like Doja Cat. Everyone sees Doja Cat from before and they're like, wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Because now she's literally like, what I heard was she sang on SNL. And people on SNL said they have never had an audience scream, sing that was even close to being as loud as they did when Chappell Roan played.
Yeah.
Like it was supposed to be like the craziest. Like they were saying that people outside the studio could hear the audience singing
crazy,
because it was, people loved it so much.
Yeah. We saw her weekend 2 at Coachella. So kind of like, I think there was a little bit of a buzz from the first weekend.
My social anxiety would never let me go.
Yeah. And luckily my friend had told us about it. Cause I mean, I had kind of wanted to check them out, but I didn't really know much. And it was like one of the best shows.
I remember you telling me that.
So good. And then just to see their career kind of explode. But their songs are really good. She kind of does this like drag makeup and it's like, I don't know, it's just like really cool. The songs are really clever and I think it resonate with a lot of people. So
reminds me a lot of Raja from season 3 when she did the Marie Antoinette with the white face, like the old school antique.
But because I wanted to touch a little bit, because initially, maybe, was it over the summer? They made a statement, because basically people were like following them around or following her. And she basically was like, hi, this shit's crazy. And it's weird to go up to people and just like demand a photo and all this stuff. And so she made the statement and everyone like freaked out on her. Was like, well, you can't make it in this business, you know? And I just always thought that was like so shitty that when people want to put up a boundary, you know, as an artist.
Well, but here's the thing. It's not like they were at a red carpet and they're like, nobody take photos of me. People were showing up, to her parents' work?
Yep.
People were super fans had figured out where her parents work and were showing up to her parents' job.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a little crazy.
That would be like showing up and stalking your ex-boyfriend and showing up on one of their dates.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and also like, I think her problem was like she'd be out shopping or have like a day off from tour or something and people would come up and want a picture and it'd be like her own time. And so she'd be like, hey, I don't want a picture. And then people would think she was an asshole. So she's basically like, yes, I'm this person you look up to. I am like in this stardom, upper echelon, you know, fame. But like, that doesn't necessarily mean you get access to me at all times. And what was really beautiful about it is like everybody kind of had to just go and process this in real time with her and go, what is acceptable? And I think back to like Princess Diana, Amy Winehouse, any of these like famous women, even Selena, when she got shot, right? There's all this tragedy that happened. And like Amy Winehouse it was like going crazy because people would not leave her the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Always following her, always in her business. It was a lot. And ultimately led to all of these people either getting shot or killed or car accident and stuff. And then after that, we go, oh, if only we would have known, or, oh, the paparazzi should just kind of chilled. Oh, like, but it's like in the moment when somebody goes, help, please stop. Like, what is the deal? Like, we don't give a shit.
Right.
But it's only after an accident or something happens where we go,
where there's any acknowledgement.
We got to put the blame somewhere.
I wish we should have done something different.
Right.
Sorry.
Like,
I feel like there's a video of, I think it's Anne Hathaway, where she gets out of she gets out of her big black, SUV.
Right.
And there's all these paparazzi and she puts her hands up and she goes, nope. She goes, we're not going to push. You're not going to scream for me.
Right.
She goes, you guys can take your pictures. I will stand here. If you XYZ, I will leave.
Right.
And I was like, good for you. And she basically was like, nope, we're not pushing. We're not shoving. You're not going to scream at me. And so it sucks that we even have to do that, but good for them for saying something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that whole industry, I mean, it's like, it sucks that like there's all that like, I got to get a good photo. I got to get the one photo. Cause like, I guess that's what happened with Princess Diana when she's on the
yacht.
When
she was on the
diving
yacht.
board or whatever she's on.
She's on the very, very, very front of this, yacht or this boat. And that's the famous picture where she's sitting in the bathing suit. Yeah. SZA used that for her cover.
Yeah. But I was watching The Crown, I think, and I think that picture sold for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. And then that
was the last photo people took of her.
Yeah. But then everybody goes, oh, if I get a good photo of this person, I could cash in and make a lot of money. And so now, because there's probably one or two photos of a celebrity doing a thing that make it and they get all the money. So now there's that industry where people, need to be the one to get that photo, and then people just go crazy.
Well, the one thing I love was Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. He wore
yeah.
the same fucking outfit
Yep.
all the time.
Yep.
He wore the same outfit all the time because then he says there's no legitimacy on the
Yep.
photos. You don't know where they're from.
He
They
was
could all be
doing
from
a-
the same day.
He was doing a Broadway play.
Oh,
and
that's
so
right.
When he would leave, he would put on the same outfit, and so it always looked like he was
There's pictures
wearing
from the same
thing,
day.
so
Yeah.
nobody gave a shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
God bless him.
And I get there's a like, because people go, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't care. You know, people go like, I wish I was famous, because if I was famous, then I wouldn't care if people took photos of me or whatever. But it's different because you need your own time. You need to be able to go like, this is me clocking in for work. This is where I'm not at work.
Well, it would be like when you go to take out your garbage in the morning and you ain't got no fucking bra on,
Right.
your titties out and saggy, and you're in like fucking mismatching shorts and like your teddy bear slippers.
Right.
And you walk out and people are like, "Frrrr," and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just trying to take my trash out, but now I have to fucking worry
Right.
about what I look like you're going
Right.
to sell this.
Yeah, and that's just kind of like this culture. But I was really happy that she said something, just because I don't know. I don't think we allow people to share those things. you know?
It's not the norm.
Yeah.
We just, if you're a celebrity, you just kind of let it happen. I mean,
It's just
like us.
it's just like acceptable. Like this culture was created, and she's like, I don't care that this has happened and been the normal, but like it's not happening with me.
Yeah. Good for her.
But I think it's interesting because people go like, fuck Chappell Roan because like she can't make it in this business, you know, she can't handle it. I also wonder if other record labels, right, like Chappell Roan's on the whatever label, I wonder if other labels are creating dialogue to make it seem like people don't like her for this things.
Big recording label.
Yeah, like rival labels or whatever, other people who don't want her to succeed. I wonder if they're also pushing and going like, oh yeah, she can't make it. You know, it's not like fans say that it's shitty, but I also
Right.
wonder if there's like other, you know, because they want to push their artist,
Right.
and not her. So then they push these agendas. But yeah, I always think about that, like Amy Winehouse, if she was around today, you know, she's just real shitty that we just care about like, oh, what'd you have for breakfast? Oh my God.
Oh yeah, who says that? Tyler the Creator
said
yeah,
that,
that was a really good statement
Yeah.
where he was like, you like my music, now you have to know what I had for breakfast.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's
It's just
fair
a
point.
weird, it's just like a weird culture that's created. People want instant satisfaction. They want instant gratification. What's yours is mine.
or what
Like,
people want to see you in like a human environment.
Right.
You know?
But it's interesting that that's the culture now.
Yeah, but we're learning about, I think, publicly now learning about consent. You know,
Right,
it's important. I just feel like in that moment for her to just be that advocate. And like, I'm terrible with popular culture, but like that was kind of a big introduction for me into her.
Yeah.
And like me wanting to listen to that music because I was like, oh, now I kind of want to know what you're about.
She also, I guess that, I don't know, was that like a MTV Music Awards or something? And they were like, how has it been? And she goes, you know, since I said that, I haven't had anybody crazy. I haven't had people showing up to my parents' work. Like people have been really respectful. And you're just like, oh, look what happened. She said, hey, bitch, don't come to my parents' work. It's crazy. And I think people go, oh shit. Like I thought I was being cute and, you know, oh, let's go do blah, blah, you know, and then in that moment you get checked and you go, oh yeah, shit. That's probably irresponsible of me. Or I'm making her feel a type of way. Because when you're like getting into fame, nobody is like, oh my God, I love it. Fame. Like it can't be great to just constantly have people like bugging you. You don't have any free time. It's got to be like shitty after a while. Even though everybody wants it, I want to be famous. It's like, can't be great. I mean, I want it, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, don't worry. We'll be fine.
Well, we learned a lot today.
We learned boundaries are good.
Boundaries, yes.
Even if they don't feel good in the moment, boundaries are good
Yep.
long term.
People also don't like boundaries. You know,
Well, I heard
you don't want to be
something-
the other side of a boundary.
Yeah, because I heard someone say that when you put boundaries, it forces people to respect you,
Right.
and people want to be able to manipulate you. So when you
Yeah.
set out a boundary and people get mad, is because you're telling them, hey, I'm not accepting this anymore.
Right.
And now they're like, wait, you're not letting me do that fucked up thing I want to do to you anymore.
Right. Yeah, it's very manipulative. I've learned later in life that I just don't have time for people's bullshit anymore. Like,
we talk about boundaries. I'm so excited to tell you guys the story. Ryan won't let me tell you guys about boundaries because I blocked my ex and then he would fucking caress it. So we'll get there. Don't worry.
I mean, I even do that like with my brother and stuff where like it just gets to a point where I'm like, I don't want to argue. I don't want to do stuff. Like, I just want peace. I want to work on projects. I want to hang out, like, and just live my best life. I don't want to do that, like, shit, that crazy shit. So you have to go like, no. My brother and I used to talk about like work stuff and medical stuff and this and this and this. And it got to a point where I was like, hi, every time we talk about this thing, this happens. And then we both go crazy because you're an idiot and you don't listen to me. You know what I mean? So it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to talk about this or this or this.
Right.
We could talk about this and hanging out and how's your day, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to talk about any of this other shit.
Right.
Because when we do, it gets crazy and then I want to talk to you. So like, you have to be able to set those boundaries and it sucks. But you know, your mental sanity is important.
If you haven't heard the term before, being an energy vampire is a real thing.
Yeah.
Meaning you're either going to be like this fucking Moonface doctor. Catfish, he was an energy vampire. He met me, he sat there, and he literally just spit toxic shit at me until we decided to leave. Like, that's crazy. Or if you have someone that you vent at or you yell at someone or like, you know, like my ex, you know what I mean? Like he was so toxic, so uncomfortable. And literally I'm this lovely, pure energy, happy, lovely, bubbly. And he would just come in and shit all over me. And I would just be depressed and upset. And I just was like, couldn't understand why. It's also my poor choices, but.
Yeah, like there's people out there that like, when I call my friends, I want to talk about how's your day? What are you up to? What projects are you working on? And I get that there's sometimes you're going through like a rough patch, but like sometimes it's like, good Lord, like what the fuck? I want to be there as a friend, but also like I should leave the conversation feeling good.
Correct.
And sometimes you're just like, I mean, I've talked about dudes with my sister here and other friends, and people are probably like, Ryan, what the fuck, man? Again?
Right.
Like again? But I get it. People were like, hey, I can't follow you down this path anymore.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
that's like when
I got to set a boundary because, yeah.
Well, that's like when you are, you know, back and forth with an ex. And you get to the point, it's happened to me a couple times in my life where I just feel very giving. And like now I realize I just got walked all over. Like I can't be like, oh my God, I just care so much.
You got to set good boundaries with your friends, your family, just like stand up for yourself. And it sucks in the moment, but like if you're always having the same argument or the same thing, it's nothing's going to change until you like stand up for yourself and you go, hey, I'm sick of this happening. So I got to put my foot down.
If you're making decisions that you wouldn't normally do, like think about it. So like I've had like my most recent ex, like I just continued to let him shit all over me, even though we weren't together anymore. And it got to the point where I couldn't talk to you about it anymore. I couldn't talk to my best friends about it anymore because what happened was they would show me so much care and concern. And then I would just get walked all over and I would cry and it would be the same cycle again. And I was actually joking with my best friend like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I totally haven't talked to my ex. And she goes, I'm going to block you for 3 days. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, I'm going to block you for 3 days. So when he rips your heart out, you got to figure that shit out on your own because I'm not doing it. And I was like, so if you're choosing to not tell your friends because you're going to waste their time, like just marinate on those choices you're making, you know?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. In the moment, it's hard to see that. But yeah. You also talk about commercials. Sorry, future generations. And that we didn't stop these streaming commercials.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, sorry, future generations from taking these fucked up drugs that they're advertising.
I wish that we like in the UK they don't have those. They don't have those like medication commercials. Yeah, in Europe they don't have those medication commercials.
Well, what do they have for vacation TV then?
Like even like Canada, they don't allow those ads. Like you can't advertise drugs on TV.
America.
It's just here because like they make all that money.
That's crazy.
They're probably doing those ads just like Tide. they're hoping that if they do enough of these ads, you go into your doctor, the doctor recommends a thing, and you go, oh, yeah, I saw that on TV. I'll do it. As opposed to another drug, which is crazy. So, like, it's all a racket. Like, we should have free healthcare. Easier said than done. But we should just have free healthcare. And then, like, we wouldn't have to watch these stupid fucking ads on TV.
For Flotty.
Yeah, Gablalda.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
For Flexi.
Gablal.
Oh, do you have to clap?
Oh, yes. Ooh.
That was a good one.